In this video series, I'll be covering how to build a basic program that lets me get the values from the JoyC hat in the M5StickC Plus. The instructions for the standard M5 stick would be basically the same. The only real difference would be the fact that you'd be using some different coordinates, but the logic would be very similar. So first thing I did, I've plugged in the hat and I've turned it on. I make sure that I'm getting signals. And our first step is to just sort of get some data from this hat. So the first thing we do is add the hat. Hit plus. I'm going to go hit cancel because I was under units. I need to go to hat and hit plus. JoyC. And then let's add some labels so we can get some information. So I'm going to start by adding a text label here. And our label here. And I'm going to add our label here. And I'm going to add our label here. And I'm going to need the first one, LX. I'm going to name this guy LY. I'm going to name this one RX. And I'm going to make this one RY. And just to make sure I have communication, I'm going to hit run, and I should see the text shows up on my screen. Nothing's being written there, but there is a text piece there. So now we need to start filling those values. So we're going to need a loop. We're going to need the C hat. I'm going to grab one of those and one of those. I'm going to grab one of these. So I'm going to set LX to show left X. And then Y. And then duplicate this guy again. I can get rid of that. Right stick. Oh. LY is left Y. RX is right Y. R so left, left, right, right, X, Y, X, Y, LX, LY, RX, RY. Let's take and load that code so we can see what happens. So right now, if you notice, let me bring this. Sitting, all these things are roughly 100. If I start bringing this to, so I'm going to start with the left stick going X. My value goes between 0 and 200. And 200 is all the way to the left. So 200 is all the way left. 100 is all the way to the right. This one is 200 to the left and 0 to the right. And for the Y value, they go to 200 up and then down. So the X's are flopped. We can fix that. And then there. Let's add some indicators for this next. So let's grab a circle and a circle. And let's actually grab a second circle. And let's make this circle white with a black center. And I want to make this guy, let's make his radius 50. So I'm going to put this guy up here. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to make sure his layer is higher. So this guy was layer not 10. This guy's layer 11. If I bring him on top, he should now be on top of this guy. And this guy's coordinate is 85, 50. That's fine. Let's make another circle. I'm going to say thing. So radius is 50. His background color is going to be black. And I'm going to bring him all the way down here. Move that out of the way. And this guy's coordinates are 50, 190. That's fine. So my big circle is 8450. Let's take this. Yep. And then, so let's name this circle left Joy back. And we're going to name this guy left Joy. And we're going to make sure he has the same coordinates. So the left Joy back is 8450, and left Joy is 8450. This guy's 50, 190. We're going to call him R right Joy back. And we're going to grab this guy, and we're going to put him at 50, 190 also. Oh, make sure this guy's layer is 11. This guy's layer should be 12. That puts him on top. Put him at 50. And we want to make sure he is named right Joy. So these are going to make up a representation for our joystick. So I know where my joystick is, and I can sort of see them move on the screen. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to create a couple of variables. And we're going to do LX, LY, RX, RY. And before we do anything else, let's take our block of code. Let's go to variables. Let's set RX or LX to the left value. I can duplicate this, duplicate, duplicate, and it's LY. Those are lowercase versus uppercase. And I'm going to put this guy there, and this guy here. Oh, there, and this guy here. And I can put these back in here, except instead of setting them that way, we're going to set them to the variable. This is going to make sure I have a way of communicating with those variables and storing them when I actually do the work. So I have my 4 variables, and this should work the same way, except I should also see the circles on the screen. The numbers are working the same way. Now, the first thing I want to do is I really don't like my range being from 0 to 200. That just seems weird to me. I'd rather be positive and negative values. So we're going to take and scale our values by doing some math on them. And we're going to subtract 100. So that's going to make the center 0, roughly. And there's a little bit of float. Notice the values aren't exactly there, but they're close. We'll take care of the float later when we're actually communicating with these things. So now let's take and add. So let's do some math on these. Let's modify these values. So I could do it on the get, or I could do an intermediate step. I'm going to do an intermediate step. I'm going to change there by negative 100. I want this to be LX, LY, RX, RY. And now, when I run it, my values should be roughly 0 and going one way. So if I go this way, I get positive. If I go this way, I get negative. So let's flip the X values. So I'm going to do, instead of these, I'm going to change these from changes to sets. And I'm going to use math. So I'm going to take and do actually. We can use that to start off with, and we'll then multiply. So we're going to use a set our LX to variable LX times math -1. And I can do with it, I'm going to do the same thing to RX. We're probably going to have 4 of these eventually, but let's start off by getting those that way. And now if I run it, we should be in a state where going to the right is positive. So if I go to this corner, I'm positive, positive, I'm positive, positive, negative, negative, that's negative, that's positive, that's negative, that's positive. Now we have our basic pieces set up. Let's start moving the ball. So I need to scale these values. Our ball here, I'm going to make this radius 10 to make our math easier. Same to this one. And I want the ball to sort of just touch the edge as I go around. So to change this guy's, I'm going to change this guy's location by the RX and RY value. So what we're going to do is, let's start off by just doing a straight translation, and then we'll scale it once we do it. So I'm going to set left joy, let's set joy X and Y. Okay, so we're going to have to get the values for those, so that's fine. So we're going to need one of these, and we're going to duplicate. So we have left joy and right joy. And these values can't just be a static, they're going to be a math. So we need to create 2 more variables. So I'm going to have LJX, that's left joy X, LJY, RJX, RJY. And before we start the loop, let's set those values. So we're going to set RJY, which his starting point is 50. So math to 50. I'm just going to grab 4 of these because I need to do this for all. So this is RJX, LJX, LJY, RJX, RJY. So LJX is 84, Y is 50. And this guy's X is 50, Y is 190. Now, these values will be different based on where I lay things out. What matters is I'm pulling that value directly from where I place this guy. And this guy's center is the same as this guy's center. Same here. He's 50, 190. That's 50, 190. That's 50. There's 190. So when we do this, first we're going to do some math. So I'm going to go and grab the math, and we're going to do variable RJX or LJX plus LX Y plus LY RJX RY or RX, sorry, duplicate, RJY plus RY. And let's put the left into the left. There we go. X, Y. Now, these are going to be way off. The circle's probably going to go way too far, but that's okay. We're just proving the concept. So conceptually, we're good. We need to invert the y-axis too. So that's fine. So let's duplicate this. So ly is equal to ly. Duplicate lx ly. Or no. Set ry to ry. So move joystick up, down, right, left. Also make this background black. That would. I am probably going to repaint in the circle. So let's grab these two guys. So after we move it, we're going to left joy back, show, right joy back, show. Okay, and we're gonna make sure we need to show the other ones too. So we're gonna duplicate this. So we're gonna go left joy, show, right joy, show. That should get right flickers. And it repaints, now I go over. So we need to scale these values down, they're way too big. And we really need to go plus or minus 40. So we need to scale our negative 100 down to 40 roughly. So we're going to times it by 0.4. So let's grab our math again. And I'm going to grab put a multiply in here. And I'm going to grab a math. And let's go times 0.4. Duplicate. And do ly. Duplicate. And then I'm going to change this to ry or rx. Pull this guy out, put this guy in. Duplicate ry. Remove this chunk here. And there we go. Let's run it and see if we're now within. Oh, and we have a rounding error. So we need to make sure we do a math.round. This is a issue because this comes out to be a non, yeah. So I'm gonna need math.round or round a bunch of times. Round. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this chunk of the math. Grab that. And that way we're always adding full numbers. So now I can see my joysticks move. I have a representation on the screen, so I can talk about those. In our next video, we'll talk about sending those off to another object. So at this point, I'm going to save this as Joy Demo, and we'll make sure I take and save this.